But like things being sacred, now see, is more than just something that's being kept secret, being hidden.
We can see everybody.
Right. So a thing that's being sacred is, or the thing that is sacred, or a sacred ceremony would be something that you have sacrificed for, right? And the thing you sacrifice is something that's related to your sacral nature. So like if you want to get a better job or you want to have a better positioning in life, you want to do X, then you have to sacrifice Y. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Y is going to be something that pertains to your lower value anyway, because you're sacrificing that to your higher self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going from the sacral up here. You know what I mean? So whatever that thing is that you sacrifice,
I never thought about it that way.
what you receive, what you receive as a result of that.
You sacrifice.
What you receive as a result of that is sacred. You know what I'm saying? Like the Holy Grail. You see what I'm saying? Like his body was sacrificed in the writings. You know what I'm saying? The body is sacrificed, and then the blood is captured in the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's really what it's about. Is losing the physical in order to capture the spiritual body and to be more in touch with that and get that potency. So what happened, even in that story of after the blood was captured in the Grail, the blood had powers. It started doing stuff, right? It was living. It was alive. It was spirit.
Like spirit.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I get
So
that.
so a thing that is secret can be sacred, right? But a thing that is sacred is almost always secret.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact of how it comes to be in and of itself. Like if you do a ceremony if I was to do a ceremony to give this water power, right? So other than what it already has, if I needed to enhance that somehow, that would be something I would do in private. You see what I'm saying? So it's secret, but the fact is I would have to sacrifice something, be it time or energy, attention, something, or even if, depending on how much and what I was trying to do, you know what I'm saying, that sacrifice price gets a lot higher. You know what I mean? So maybe I'd have to fast. You're giving up food. You see what I'm saying? You're giving up it's a sacral thing. It's a physical thing. It has to do with your physical appetite.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you give that up, and then the universe gives you. You see what I mean? And that's again, it's that above, as above, so below, to the left, to the right. Like it's, you know. So if you, let's say you wanted to, like, it's the same thing. It's a similar process to what you would do if you wanted to empower talismans or sigils, seals, any of that thing, something that you created, you know what I'm saying, a sigil or seal you created, it's a similar thing. You would just have to concentrate on the joyous state and the love state you're actually trying to bring, the situation you're trying to manifest, and you would sacrifice a sacral aspect of yourself for that. You know what I'm saying? You stop doing cocaine so you can get this promotion. You know what I'm saying? You know? You stop having all these women so you can have this one good woman who's going to stand up. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You stop gambling so you can hold on to your money and like have a business or something. You know what I mean? It's really, that's what it is. You know, you got to sacrifice. Anybody will tell you want something good, you got to sacrifice. That's what that means. That's sacred. And that thing you get, you should treat with respect because it's sacred. You sacrificed to get that. You see what I mean? You're not going to spend all your time, right, sacrifice all your time for a job doing physical labor, right, sacral. You're not going to do all that only to get the thing you wanted to get with that money and then treat it like crap. You see what I mean? So anything that's sacred has to be respected. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of civilizations fell into ruin after they were pillaged and their sacred items were taken. That energy was taken out of their land. It's like ripping someone's heart out. The body stops. The knowledge is still there. Brain's still there, but the body stopped. You know what I mean? So you still have all these different these different ways to learn, or like the different sacred structures and things that are still buried in these different lands, right? But the sacrificial aspect of what people sacrificed for to give those things power was stolen. You know, they have shrunken heads, bodies, scepters, bones, all that stuff. They took that stuff out of these lands, out of Mesopotamia, out of ancient China, out of ancient India, you know, out of ancient Africa, and moved them into museums. And now their nations are reaping the monetary benefits off it. You see what I mean? That's how it works. You know, so even that stuff isn't even secret. You see what I mean? It's something that's secret is just something that's hidden, whereas something that's sacred is something that actually has power and can be secret, but it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a secret is like just something you hide from somebody. It's something hidden. You know what I mean? Like technically, most occult things can be classified as secret, even though a lot of them aren't sacred.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things that you said, you know, you're sacrificing from your sacral and raising it upward. So in alchemy, right, when you literally take all your lower energies, all your lower habits and emotions and traumas and stuff like that. Like the way I teach it, you would breathe into it, alchemize it, raise it up through the crown, and literally allow your spirit to
go ahead.
So it's sacrificing the lower for the.
Yep, you're handing it over to the higher. Like, here you go, do something with that.
Yeah, what up, Loaded Builder? So for those of you that are joining us live, I got brother Adrian X0 in the house. If you guys don't know him, he is like one of the dopest people that I know when it comes to all things metaphysics.
You can check my channel out. It's on YouTube, Spellcraft Spirit School. You know?
And we're going over several topics right now. We're covering you know, the difference between sacred versus secret.
Yeah.
You know, everything that's secret may not be sacred. Everything that's sacred may not be secret. For the most part, it is.
They're not interchangeable.
So we're going through that. So welcome. Feel free to drop comments and questions if you guys would like to, you know, interact with this because we're going to be going on for a while. So feel free. So yeah, let us know your input.
That's kind of like the whole secret name of God, or like, you know, how in on almost every metaphysical or spiritual discipline, there's this idea that you can't know the God, you can't speak its name, right? And people have taken that to not to mean what it doesn't mean. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that this is just some unknowable aspect and like you'll never be anywhere, you won't be in common with it, you won't communicate. That's not what that means. It simply means that as you know things physically, you can't know. It is impossible. Right? Because the name of God isn't even the 72-letter name of God. That's not even the name of God, right? That's a small snippet. Because you got to understand, if something is infinity, then its name must also be infinite. So it's literally every name of everything that could ever possibly exist. That's everything. The name. Yeah, exactly.
Everything is everything.
All is all.
All is all. Which I love that so much.
Exactly.
Like once I got it, I was like, oh.
It really blows your mind, right? If you think about this, right? Okay. As this physical reality stands right now, human beings, animals, everything that you currently think of as a real physical reality, like tangible physical reality, baryonic reality, right? Everything that obeys the laws of physics in this universe, right? All of that stuff has only existed for like not even a fraction of the width of a hair of time on the scale of infinity. Right? So every single sound, every vibration, every color, every word, every song you've ever heard, every poop you've ever taken is just the smallest subsection of what the actual name of the all is. It's literally impronounceable. There's not enough time. You would have to have infinite time to pronounce infinite letters.
Yeah, exactly.
You might even have infinite tongues. Infinite, you know what I'm saying? Like there's, like so it's not. It's so they're not saying you can't know him as in it's this hidden away shadowy figure that's just gonna rule over you and you fucking don't have any control over. That's not what it means. It means that you have to look beyond the physical. You have to pierce the veil, as like the story of Percival, right? When it's talking about how he went and got the chalice, and then he started doing all these things to try and help people, and all the things he did to get the chalice, right? But when you look at his name, right, his French name, Percival, right, it means pierce the veil. Either pierce the veil, or what was it? Piercing the valley. So he's either going through the valley of death, right, or he's peeking behind the veil. Like that's what that whole story is about. It's about going past your physical so that you can perceive the things that are hidden.
And I talk about that all the time because you cannot intellectualize higher spiritual knowledge. It's not possible. It's out of form. You can't bring things out of form into form.
Right.
It doesn't translate well. And that's why a lot of people misunderstand religions and higher teachings, because you can only perceive it from your own level of perception. And if you don't have the experience component, the spirit component, is no way you can fully understand what it means.
You're always going to look at it and be like, what do these naked babies with wings mean? Like, that's what your brain's going to be doing every time you see it. I don't understand why this hooded guy has this big sickle thing. Is he chopping wheat? I don't understand. Like, you don't get it. Why does this woman have horns? I don't understand. Like, that's how you're going to see all that unless you can relate to this stuff on, again, like you said, on an interpersonal level, on an interspiritual level. And this is every single spiritual discipline, it doesn't matter what spiritual or religion, it doesn't matter what culture, what region you come from, all of it.
Yeah, and this is the crazy thing too, because, you know, I've been studying like different religions and stuff, and then doing a lot of my my mental body practices, going to like temples and churches and stuff like that. So I get to understand it even more once I go in and, you know, mentally transfer into the space or whatever. And like, I just remember from, you know, before my journey, looking at different, you know, religions and stuff like that, and assuming I knew what the heck was going on. And then now I go through it, I'm like, oh.
And the thing, another thing that'll happen is once you start getting that, once you start having that in every single culture, once you start having those, it's real easy to see who hasn't.
Exactly.
And who's just kind of going along, and, you know, somebody might even be leading people wrong.
And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And it's crazy because, like, for me, I don't like, you know, rule anybody out, because everybody, you know, has their own path, and they all lead to the same place.
Right.
You know,
some harder than others.
Even some of the lower dualistic religions and stuff like that. I even had a one-on-one with a woman, and she was saying both sides of her grandparents or whatever owned churches in Detroit, and the way that they, you know, knew if you were saved or not is if the Holy Spirit or the Holy Ghost had that come in you and have you speaking in tongues. If that ain't happened, you ain't got the light, and that's what all systems are doing. They're getting, there's a path to light. But people don't understand what light is. They're tuning into that
people
light.
think light is these things that are like shining on us. That's not
it's
what
not
it
that.
is.
It's light.
Yeah,
light.
if anything, you can say that's the physical idea of what. That's a physical representation of the idea of the concept of light.
Yeah.
It's showing you. It's awareness. It's attention. You know what I mean? It's power, it's intensity, it's hot, it's heat, you know what I mean? It's that excitement, it's vibration, high energy. You know what I mean? It's all of those things. You know what I mean? These lights, the sun, fire, a flame, that all represents those ideas. You know what I mean? Those are all the same thing. Like a bowl, a tire, a steering wheel, and some people's heads, right? Those are all just round things. They're not actually different things. It's just round.
I was laughing because I'm sure we're confusing so many people right now.
Like, basically everything is made of a few concepts, you know, a few aspects that just gotta get jumbled together to make different stuff. You know what I mean? That's every idea, every religion, every physical thing. You know what I mean? They all just get kind of mixed around to make these different things that we experience as life, you know what I mean? And when you don't understand that everything, like we was talking about before we started recording, everything is a piece of the puzzle, and you start thinking that your puzzle piece is just the puzzle, and that there is no puzzle other than your piece, then you miss the whole picture. You missing out on a beautiful, huge, infinite story, you know what I mean, that everything is a part of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is why I love Buddhism so much, because, like, they go really deep into that. Like, you know, it's just a system to realize that and understand that. And I was looking at the Kalachakra system or whatever too, and they were saying how, you know, even within that, it's all subjective.
Yeah. The only objective truth is that everything is subjective. When I first heard the Three Laughing Buddhas story, cracked up. Nobody figured out why I was cracking up. I got that immediately. Like, that's the only objective truth, is that every truth is subjective.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
and so one of the ways that I break it down is I usually say the only objective truth is the all.
Yeah. And everything in that is just a variation of...
So, you know, if you break down the all as, you know, the mind of the universe and hermetics, right? The moment the all goes into something observing all, different perception. And then think about all the infinite polarities and
That it
things
just
from
keeps-
it keeps splitting. Yeah,
Yeah.
infinitely.
Yeah,
Since the
infinite.
beginning of
Yeah, it doesn't matter how big the picture you draw is, it's still inaccurate and incomplete. It just keeps, it's infinite, yeah.
And the goal, and that's why, and like I said, once again, why I appreciate Buddhism so much is so you can have that experience. That's the goal. But different traditions say the same thing too.
Yeah, it's just that they put it in
you can
different
call
ways,
it, Christ consciousness, God consciousness,
Yep.
entering the Tao.
Yeah, the
you know what I'm
Karasatai,
saying?
Kemet, yep.
Yeah.
Or the Kephara, which just means change. It's talking about the chrysalis and you changing inside that, and you fly to Ra. You know what I mean? You're going to the light. Like it's the same. Yeah. They're all talking about this infinite cycle of regression and progression, and the different ways that the energy cycles back and forth that keep to build you up. Like that's how everything works. Like these lights, even these cameras, and like I'm sure you've seen videos where they slow down. Like they'll put a camera on a monitor and then they'll like slow down the footage or something.
You can see the
Everything is just literally just these oscillations between light, dark, and everything in between. You know what I mean?
Yep, vibrating in and out of the Akasha.
That's it.
Continuously.
In and out of experience. Yeah.
So Natasha has a question. She says, what does it mean when the sun turns indigo, then purple/magenta when sun gazing? People have been asking me this a lot.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of sun gazing questions up there.
So that's a Kabbalah thing for me. So for people that don't fully understand Kabbalah, one, you can't learn Kabbalah from a book or from a person. You can't do it. There's a lot of people that teach, different things, but you can only literally learn it from the sun and the intelligence of the sun. And the frequencies emitting from the sun and all the different universal frequencies. That's what Kabbalah is about.
Direct
it's about
experience.
It's about, coming into resonance and allowing your spirit to fully just fully tune into universal frequency, so you can know it through experience. It's like we say, you can't really know it unless you experience it. So that's what Kabbalah is all about. 27 letters of Kabbalah in different colors, and then the sounds that go with it. The purple magenta is more like a nurturing, loving type, energy
coming out of the sacral areas. You're going higher because, like, when you're looking at the clip off, you have the center column, or the column. You call it column. The center column, you have left column, right column. You know what I'm saying? The mother and the father, and you have that middle way, and that's the only one that extends all the way up to Ein Sof and down to human. You know what I mean? And that's basically where you want to try and stay. You know what I'm saying? So when you're going boop, 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 like that, like that's about right here is where she's talking about that color she's seeing. You know what I mean? It's like blue, green, yellow, and purple and red, I think, are all in here.
Yeah. He's talking about the tree of life. Somebody says, does Adrian have a website or a TikTok? Feel free to plug it.
Now, I got a TikTok. It's not, that thing is old. I don't know if you know what I mean. But yeah, I got, my YouTube station is Spellcraft Spirit School. Spellcraft Spirit School on YouTube. And I talk about a lot of this stuff, and I go in depth about a lot of different topics that people have questions on, that I get questions on in the Discord. Things that people ask me just when I'm out, in the world, you know what I mean? So, like, a lot of this stuff I talk about on there, like, how to channel, empathy, how to defeat your shadow is one of the videos that people seem to like a lot. I'm trying to think what maybe my favorite one. Oh yeah, the Elders in the Flames video. So I talk about stuff like how stories affect culture and how they metaphysically affect your reality. You know what I mean? As far as the things you think, believe, and thought forms becoming actual forces in your life and experience.
Yeah, it's all manifest from there.
Yep.
Yeah, we can most definitely talk about that. So follow him on YouTube.
Spellcraft Spirit School.
Yeah, Spellcraft Spirit School. And join the Discord, because he's a active member in there too. Check out the link in the bio, and you can connect directly with them from there too. So yeah,
I will be. I'm gonna get my TikTok back up and running. Everybody keeps asking. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get it back up, and I'll put it out there. You guys are gonna see it, and you'll be able to ask me questions directly. I'll be putting up a lot more content. We'll probably do a lot of stuff together on there. So yeah,
for sure. Okay, so I want to take a tangent real quick.
Go ahead.
So I've been in Sedona. I've been in LA. I've been traveling dude, I done went all over the U.S. over the past like year and a half or whatever. Come back to South Bend, right? And a couple of people that I know, they know about South Bend or whatever too. And looking at the consciousness here as a collective, as opposed to all the other places that I've been, and everybody that I know that's left from here say that, a lot of people that are here, especially in the hood, they're stuck. And their level of consciousness is like, it's reversed.
Yeah.
So, this is the thing that, I haven't put my finger on exactly what it is. I have some idea. I know who runs South Bend.
Right.
I know where they at. It's not just, it's more than the university.
Yeah.
But it is, but I've been interacting with a lot of people. And, I was talking to my cousin. And his mom is sick or whatever and smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. You know what I'm saying? Drink soda and stuff like back to back to back, to the point where she can't even get out of bed. And he was talking to me.
One or two is cool, but like back to back?
Yeah. So, so he was like, yeah, mom gotta, she gotta eat all this healthy BS, and this is the healthy BS. And every now and then we can get her some good food, go to Frankie's and get some ribs or some.
Not Frank.
If it gotta be barbecue,
so
they poison people there.
No, and that's what I'm saying. So I haven't been in South Bend with the eyes that I have now. I've grown so much since the last time we met one-on-one, and then, my perceptions and my understanding of everything is so different. So now I see everybody's everything.
Yeah.
I see everybody's everything.
You see it, it's all hanging out. Yeah.
So I can't pinpoint it to one thing. It's a whole system of things that this goes through. This needs to be talked about.
Yeah,
so
go ahead, man.
So this goes into the whole politics thing or whatever too, where we got city designers that say, okay, all the rich people here, all the poor people here, and it's by design. Yep. So we're going to keep the poor people poor so they can pay for all the rich people stuff, work at all the rich people properties and stuff like that. But there's also magic in it.
Yeah.
Everything is magic.
Everything.
Remember, everything is
single
magic.
thing.
But there is no magic because there's a causation chain for everything. Nothing just happens just because.
It's not magic.
Somebody said food and frequency. It's not just food and frequency.
Yeah.
If you go into the astral, you can go block by block. You can see the veils. You can see the city property. They got astral veils to make it look different.
Yes.
You go into certain neighborhoods, it's all green and vibrant. The moment you cross the street, it's death.
Like, I'm telling you, dude, like, I've had that same talk with a few people. I try to explain to them how cities are actually built.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Cities are built the same way they used to be built in antiquity. They're a layout of the body, because the body is a layout of the universe. And you're supposed to tie all these things together. See, but when you don't know that and you just live in a city like people do in these societies today, you're under the influence of spirits that you don't even understand are there. Because the mechanism that they move by has been lost to you or hidden from you, is more accurate.
Yeah.
So like you said, like, and when I'm talking about spirits or entities, people have a tendency to like picture a thing that's shaped like a human. Again, gotta get past that.
No, it's everything.
Gotta get past that. You gotta get past that. Okay,
it's most definitely not.
It's not.
Everything has a spirit. Everything in all of creation has a spirit. Everything composed of consciousness. Certain areas has its own spirit. You can see it. It's
say go downtown, all right, in your city. That's the heart. Okay, it's the heart, brain, soul, downtown. Right. So you go down there. See how sick your downtown is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And like, you probably go downtown and don't even see it.
I love that.
You probably go downtown and go to the shops, you probably go to the restaurants, and you don't even see how sick it is because you're so focused on the things that your desire is pointing you at.
Yeah.
Look at the things you don't want to see. Go downtown and look for that. How many homeless people? How many derelict buildings? How many police? If there's no police down there and then there's just all kinds of other stuff going on in the background, hey, probably got a problem. Like, they know that something's, and they're letting that fester.
Yeah.
Because that's the spirit that runs that city.
Yeah.
Just like here, like everywhere else you hear about crime just going crazy and police and all that. Like here, we got crime going crazy, There ain't no police going crazy. Like, you don't have police shooting people in the street like that here. It's people shooting people in the street like that here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's past this point of, oh, it's just the establishment against people. It's past that.
Yeah.
You know, like this is at this point, it's literally like you're saying. It's like people are trapped in this. They're trapped in the miasma, to use a word from antiquity. It just basically means ether, but it's like a stronger sense of it. It's like a damn near physical. You know what I mean? It's holding people's mentality and spirit in this place to where instead of spending time researching something, they're going to spend time looking at whatever nonsense the pink sauce lady is talking about this week on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, you could be using your energy and time to actually be doing something to brighten the city spirit. But people have been trapped in doing things that not only degrade the city spirit, but degrade their spirit. And it's all in the name of profit. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. And it's mental slavery.
Yeah.
It's spiritual slavery.
Yeah.
Remember, your mind and your spirit is the same thing. Boop. And that's what people don't get. Your mind and your spirit is the same thing.
Yep.
And it's mental slavery. It's spiritual slavery in all the cities.
Yep.
That's what makes cities. That's why cities exist.
That is exactly why
so people can profit off of the spirit of certain people, and it's literally like I want to say a cancer.
If you think about how streets are laid out, streets are blood vessels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the life in those blood vessels?
Yeah.
You. Every time you drive to the store, every time you turn a corner, you go through a roundabout, you're a blood cell going through the veins of that city. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, wherever you're going, the things you're doing, how you act, the things you say, how you are towards people, that's all characteristics you're feeding into that spirit that help it be whatever it's going to be. Yeah. So, again, look at San Francisco. Just, that used to be one of the most beautiful places to live, right? And and I'm not even talking about just, the quote-unquote SJW stuff. Like, that's all fine and good. People just trying to make a better world for people, everybody be accepted and all that. And it all turned to crap. Because the corporations got in there with their little greedy fingers, okay, and got to pretending to want to do things for people, for profit.
Yeah.
Those greed motives got in there, and then the spirit became impure, and it turned. Now the whole city's garbage. And it's happening everywhere.
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 And dude, my girl has been on this big, it was the capitalism is destroyed. I was thinking this on the ride in the South Bend, how the cities are what did No Name call it? Consumerism holy land.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it's all about. But people that live in the city think, oh, we got the newest this and that.
Yeah.
No, you're getting your life force and spirit enslaved into thinking that everything that's good is bad and everything that's bad is good. Vice versa, Pastor Troy. What if heaven was hell and vice versa?
Yeah.
This is literally what it is.
Yep.
And like I said, when I talked to my cousin, it blew my mind. His mom is on her deathbed. Oh, she got to eat this BS, healthy
when
food
you
or whatever.
That.
And he literally said, oh, will she get some good food, like some Frankies or some fried fish? I'm like,
don't feed that woman that stuff, boy. Yeah, dude.
And it's crazy because
I've had that same conversation with so many people. I hear a lot that people, when they were younger, right, because of certain family situations, depending on the food situation, where in the area where you grew up, you would look at fast food as a treat.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that carries
over
mental
slavery.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's pissed me off because they attach an astral attachment already to your kids. And this is the most evil thing possible. Because your astral body, right, is your emotional body.
I do maintenance at one of these places.
Really? Yeah.
And I talk this shit all day.
They call it a Happy Meal, and they give your child a toy.
Emotional manipulation.
Yeah, emotional manipulation. And that's why we have a whole generation of kids that think that this literal, toxic ass food is good for you. Because people, they go through the astral filter, not the spirit filter. Yep. When they eat it, it's all based off emotion. Oh, I'm happy when I eat this. Take your time next time.
To somebody even if, say, the makers of the food aren't themselves putting any astral or sigil connotations, but they're not putting a whammy on the food, right? Say them, just say they're not.
Some razzle dazzle.
Yeah, just say they're not putting a flim flam on it, right? Just for sake of argument, say it's not them, right? Every food item or drink item you consume has water in it, right? Mm-hmm. Water absorbs emotional energy, right?
Yes.
How do you think the people working in these fast food places feel?
Hey, I talk about this all the time. You know,
And they're
bad
using-
mental hygiene,
And they're
bad
using
astral
metal.
hygiene.
They're using metal to touch your food.
Yep.
Those
Goes
emotions
into it.
are going straight into your food. You're eating that.
Yeah.
Anger, disappointment, the disappointment in his check.
Yeah.
I'm mad about my baby mama. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to clean these grease traps no more. You eating that.
You're eating it.
You're eating
and
that
it
emotion.
metabolizes through you. Just like
Yeah,
the physical
yeah.
aspect metabolizes in your physical
Yep.
cells. The astral aspect metabolizes through your emotional body, your perceptions.
Yep.
The mental aspect, same thing. It metabolizes through your spirit.
Yep.
And people don't really get that. Bro, I went and got a Thai tea from some boba shop in LA.
Okay.
And I usually, everything I drink, I clear it, and go through and then do the clearing process or whatever. It was two teenage girls that gave it to me. One of them was like upset about her boyfriend or something like that.
Man.
Bro, I just took a sip of it. I swear I got dumber for like 5 minutes. For real, I took a sip and I'm speaking to my girl. Next thing you know, the words wouldn't even coming out. Right?
That anger, dude, I'm telling you. Yeah.
And I'm just talking normal. As soon as I sip it, my words just started getting jumbled. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But people don't fully get it or
People don't-
understand.
yeah.
But once you become sensitive to it,
Yep.
like, just eating stuff from especially fast food
Yeah,
restaurants.
especially fast food.
bad mental
I mean,
hygiene,
generally
bad
speaking,
astral
if you
hygiene.
didn't prepare the food or see it prepared or it wasn't prepared by somebody you love or trust, be questionable about it anyway, but like especially fast food places because it's so emotionally rife with the negative emotions. You know what I mean? Like when you go to a fast food place and the person who made your food enjoys working there.
Yeah.
You know, because you look at that, they're like, damn, this thing look like the commercials. You know what I'm saying? Like, this burger looks amazing.
It's like
who's
grandma
in there?
food. It's like grandma food because a
Woo.
lot of y'all, grandma that's her love language. So you
Come on
feel the
now.
love, and grandma might not even be the best cook, but because it's literally made with love, you receive that love,
Yep.
and you feel loved when you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing happened in the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even want to be here today.
Oh, man. Can't believe I gotta be up in this.
Manager talking trash.
Oh, man, get out of my face, man. I don't even want to. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and then that person
All
gonna go
over
in.
food.
Yeah, they ain't gonna put their fingers in your food. Like, nah, you can't wash that off with soap, man. Like, you can't wash that off with soap. You know that
Natasha
person.
said, she said, I had something at a restaurant recently. It tasted like discipline.
Look,
For real.
telling you, you can always taste it.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of leads us into what we're talking about. We want to talk about word magic too.
Oh yeah, word magic is like one of my favorite things because like you can look at a word and just know what it is, but most people, especially in English, just assume that words mean
English.
I feel like because everybody is pretty much raised by the system. If you lived in the city, we're literally raised to make assumptions. Now the newer generation, not so much. The newer generation is something different because now it's like you got to show me. All the old ways of taking things on blind faith and just from authority. That's over.
Newer generation sat there and watched us get in trouble for questioning everything our past generation told us. You know what I mean? Like my kids. Like, my kid's mother, before we got together, like, I don't think she realized that she wasn't as Christian as she thought she was, right? Until we got together. And then she realized that she started saying all that stuff about she didn't believe a lot of it didn't make sense to her. So I'm like, yeah, you never even studied the stuff, so you don't really believe the things you're saying. You're saying them because somebody told you. Right?
Yeah.
So she would always try and push my kids into church. I'm like, you don't even go there. You're not going to push our kids there, right?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, then I stayed telling my kid, I explained to my kids about different spirituality, different cultures, different ethnicities, different math systems, star systems, different just different writings, readings, arts, sports, poetry, martial arts, all of that. And as a result, they are seeing past a lot of the things that our parents, couldn't see past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like you're right. Like they're going to be way more adamant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Than people are probably even ready for.
Oh yeah, all of those just blind faith structures, they're all going to fade away.
those
They're
are
all
gone.
dying. Like they
Crumble.
are literally going to die. And that's why
Crumble
you see them
to the
change
dust.
now, because they're trying to hold on to,
So many Seventh-day Adventist commercials.
yeah, and it's
Interrupting
crazy.
all my music.
Yeah, and it's crazy because this is something I share all the time that people don't really understand. Like, in order for any religion to exist, they have to control you in some way, or
Yeah.
you wouldn't be in that religion. Because
Right.
if you knew that you are God, you don't need to go to a place or go and give your money, your time and energy to something external.
Yeah, that's it's like what I say all the
You
time
know-
about corporations. I'm like, if you honestly understood that you can plant your own stuff, love yourself, protect your own stuff, build your own house, you wouldn't need anything from them.
But,
So you wouldn't have to go.
But that's where everything is going, because
Exactly.
the new generation is like, well, you got to show me. It's
Yeah.
like, remember the little girl or whatever, you say something, why?
yeah.
Because of this, but why?
But why, though?
Look at, keep asking why. It's going to lead you to the answer eventually.
Yeah, nobody ever found out anything by
And it's either
ignoring
control
stuff.
or money.
Oh yeah.
One or
Power,
the other.
influence, or money of some kind. I mean, it's always some kind of unfair transactional situation that takes place.
Yeah.
I've heard it excused as, and I guess it's not really excused. It's kind of true, because in order for one civilization to rise, another one has to fall. Like that's just the nature of things.
Yeah.
In order for this thing to eat, this thing has to die.
Yeah.
So right. But where you come into problems with that is when the thing that's being eaten just kind of refuses to die. It's just in the stomach, wiggling around, causing
that's where we're
problems,
at.
and that's where we're at right now. Like it's dying.
But
it's
that's
just-
why everything is so extreme now, too.
He's putting up a fight. He's wiggling around.
So one of the things too, and then we're gonna continue in the word magic aspect, is like the control system is breaking down because that veil is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, right? Everything is raising in vibration, and that the veil between the physical and the astral is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And this is why, if you look at the news, it's like a reality TV show. It don't even make sense anymore. Like, all of it is. I guess they think if you're stupid enough to still believe them, they can just tell you
They
anything.
say whatever they want.
Yeah, and then people still believe it. And this is the thing for everybody out there. Don't take things just on blind faith. Just because it's on TV, most of it's not real. It's literally whatever you take on whatever you take on as a belief, your subconscious mind is going to make sure you see it as a truth. And if you just accept things blindly from the same source 3 times, that 4th time, your subconscious is going to be like, yep, it's true.
Yeah.
This is why people watch the news and they say stuff that's clearly not true. This is like outrageous stuff. And people, you hear about this? So happened. And it puts you in resonance with that BS. It's
Donald
like,
Trump had Megazord powers and he was going to go save Ukraine. What is Mighty Morphin Power Ranger powers?
and that's word magic.
And people would
And that's
literally
why
be like, oh, Donald Trump's going to go save Ukraine by himself. He just got his AK. And people would believe that just because it's being repeated on this station, that station by a person they might think is attractive, who's speaking in a comforting voice or an excited voice. It's all about riling up those energies.
You know what put me onto this way back in the day, dude. I started, back in like the late 90s. I was still little. You know what I'm saying?
We started.
I watched a video
way before most
from
people.
North Korea talking about America, and one of the things that really stuck out to me is they was like, they have professional liars on TV every day, all day, just lying
Straight
to the people
propagandists that
all
work for the
day.
government. Yeah. It's not even like a
And then
thing.
I started looking at it different. I'm like, oh, and then I started actually being around with. I've been in places where the news crews will show up for like 5 minutes and do a 20-minute segment on some stuff they was there for 5 minutes for and just ride out. You know what I'm saying?
And somehow y'all got an hour's worth of material. You know what I'm saying? Like, because essentially any news organization, you know what I'm saying, is basically just a propaganda mouthpiece for the government.
Yeah, exactly. That's how the control system works.
That's
And it's
just
word
what it
magic.
is.
That's
Yeah,
why channel programs, they tell your vision and they channel programs into you.
Yep.
And this is
They use channels to broadcast programs.
Yeah, they broadcast razzle dazzle, you know what I'm saying?
into your television.
And it's also light. Remember, we talked, everything is light, all light, because everything is light, and everything is
understand
composed of consciousness, energy, and information.
That-
And that light enters into your awareness. That information it metabolizes through your experience.
It's a part
So
of you.
Yeah, it's a part of you.
Yeah.
And it seeks to express itself. So everything that you take on, especially if you like it, if you
Yep.
liken yourself
Like it.
into it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it's going to be a part of your experience.
Yep.
And this is how it functions. you know, and you can look at deity yoga. I teach people how to literally learn from from different deities and stuff like that. Are the same thing.
Yeah.
You're tuning into the light of that
Exactly.
deity, and you get the lessons from that the information and stuff. It metabolizes through your experience.
Even
Anything, though.
even in Christianity,
Yeah.
it says, liken the self unto the Lord. Be like Jesus.
Yeah.
You're supposed to. That's you. You're supposed to do that. That's you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's when you don't have someone to actually point out how these words are supposed to function, it's crazy how they just go right past.
Yeah.
They go right past people. Like, I get this reaction so many times because I'll just be talking and then I'll say something to a person and they'll just stop and look at me like that. Like, where did you hear that? I'm like, what do you mean? That's what it is. Like, look at it. I'll write it down or something. Like, look, see. Like the concept of remembering, right?
Mm-hmm.
I try to put this to people so that they can understand it, right? When you are remembering something, you are reassembling
You're
your
remembering,
life body. You're remembering something that was dismembered. You see what I mean? Like, it's right there, but people don't understand it. They think remembering something is just like, playing back something that happened yesterday, today, or a mean thing somebody said or a comment. Like, no, you're literally putting all of the pieces of your timeline together, all your experiences from this life, past life, future, all of that. It's all one substance.
Yeah.
And you just reassembling it.
And there's no time or space in between that.
Right.
That's what people don't get.
Yeah,
Because
they
a
don't.
lot of people think in a linear way. They think that, you have to take time and space into consideration to get in there. And when it comes to being enlightened, where do you got to go to be enlightened? Nowhere. There's no time or space between you being fully enlightened.
It's like you go in, but once you go in, time is gone.
Yeah,
like, that's not the thing.
It's
anymore.
all there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the reason you experience time here is because you can only focus on certain aspects of progression at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how things progress here because of the fact that there's duality, because there is a here and a there. Things have to happen in between this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that on dimensions higher than 4 and 5. It's not. These are all present at the same time. Like, this spot can be here, and things resulting from this second spot can be over here, even though this second spot's not here yet.
Yeah.
Because it will be there. It is there in another aspect, another form. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to explain infinite space in a finite area with finite speech, but again, it's something where you have to let the words take you out of the physical, because words first and foremost are mental vibrations. You think a thing before you say it, and usually when you think that thing, there's an image attached to that. Even if you have what is it? Affectation. Yeah, even if you have that. Even if you have that, like, you might not catch it, and that's the thing. That's what aphantasia really is. It's like your inability to hear yourself, right? So you don't hear the words, and you also don't see the words. But it can be either or.
Yeah.
Some people can imagine things visually, but there's no sound.
Yeah.
And some people can hear things and even see words or numbers, but that's it. There's no other.
And some people don't have any.
Yeah, some people have nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it's complete darkness. They imagine something, and they're like, well, like, I told them, one of the first tests I conducted, right, with this was I would tell a person, I would just ask them a question at first. I'd be like, okay, so can you picture a car? Can you picture a van? And they'd be like, okay, I'm trying. Well, I know what a car looks like. I know what a van looks like. I know, like, they'd be like, I know what tires are. I know, but they can't actually see it in their head, right? So then I came up with what I call a presuppositional therapy, which is basically I presuppose that the thing already exists. I don't ask them, can you make yourself see a car, try to see a car? I ask them, what color is the car?
Yeah.
What color is the house? You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? I already presuppose that it's just there.
Yeah.
And that helps them to just pop a house in there, boop, pop a cow in there, boop, pop a whatever. But it's that dissociation between that area of the brain that creates and understands words and that area of the brain that hears and perceives them, the words and the ideas. When them things can't communicate, aphantasia happens.
And this is the thing too, because, like, for me, the majority of my experience, Bro, I didn't even know you could see things in your mind's eye until I was like 27.
Like, I swear, when I started asking people that, everybody was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't see things in your head.
And I was like, you do?
Right. And that's the reaction.
You
They're
mean like, you see things?
They're like, you mean you see things in your head? You know, they're looking at me like, oh man, this dude's crazy. And I'm looking at them like their brain's broken. Like, you know. But
so
like,
you know what it is, right? So it's because the visual cortex it hasn't been used.
Right.
You know, it just haven't developed the ability to, you know,
yeah, you just
for it
gotta,
to function.
You just
And
gotta
that's with all of
stimulate
it.
that thing.
Yeah. So you can do exercises and stuff for it. Like now I'm to the point where, I can tune in. I can, you know.
But that's why word magic is so important, because reading is one of those exercises that helps to routinely exercise your eyes, the light that's going in there. It helps your pineal gland and your pituitary, because one affects the other. So as your pituitary is active, your pineal is active. Your pineal is active, it affects the pituitary action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the more that one is glowing, the other one is active. You know what I mean? It's one of the reasons I'm so damn big. You know what I mean? Because I just read books when I was younger and ate food and
it's a spiritual practice.
And I was outside and like, you know, I was with trees and animals, you know what I mean? So, like, I just kept taking in energy, just kept taking it in. I'm the biggest person in my family by far. There's no one my side of my family. Like, not even close, you know what I mean? And I'm the most spiritual person in my family by far.
Yeah. It's crazy because, like learning is a spiritual practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is a spiritual practice.
And an infinite practice.
Yeah, exactly. Because with the things that you learn, you know, that light, you'll have that forever. You know, that's why developing your mental body is so much more important than your astral stuff. Yeah. You know, developing the mind.
Once you have that developed, all of this will fall in line.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All the rest of it will fall in line.
And you'll run into, like, you know, high level academics who aren't spiritual at all, and their aura will match that of a llama. You know, and they will literally glow. If they're concentrating on something, they will literally start to...
Those are some of my favorite people to talk to, too, because like they'll be so close, right, to understanding, but be miles off of actually seeing it.
And that's the thing. And I'm so happy you brought that up.
It'll take like one nudge, just a slight nudge, and they'll just... And all of a sudden, all the things they've been thinking of, working on, all that just... Boom, it all comes together. They get it, you know what I mean? Because they were already that close.
Yeah. And this is the thing, too, when it comes to learning, right? Spiritual practice. But for the people that don't understand the spiritual side of life, they're too caught up in the intellect.
Right.
They're too stuck on the intellect. Right. Instead of allowing the intuition to function and meld with it and developing intuitive intellect, it's just all intellect. That's why you got people that, like, in the same way that we got religious people that don't really study religion and say, oh, this is what it is, and they don't really understand it.
Right.
People are like that with science and you know, intellectual matters. And
then the ego gets tied into it, so when you do actually try to correct them, they get angry. They lash out, or you know what I mean, and nothing actually gets accomplished. That's what I mean. So, yeah, you have to definitely approach them kind of people like subtly, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? But like, I find a lot of times that, you know, if you can find an area that an intellectual person who isn't spiritual is interested in, you can find an area that stimulates them. Like, you can get them there pretty easy, easy. Like they'll it's basically just like, okay, you're looking over there, but the gate's over here. They're like, oh damn, I didn't even look over there. Oh, thanks. You know what I mean?
And this is why, like, you look at you know, people that study physics, physicists, they're like some of the most spiritual people ever. Listen, y'all seen Oppenheimer? Listen,
those people are having the time of their life right now.
You know, he knew Sanskrit. They showed it in the movie. You know, if you know Sanskrit, then ain't no way you're not, you know, tapped in.
Yeah, you're because see, that's the thing, right? At a certain point, once you start studying ancient languages and ancient customs, ancient cultures, it's inevitable that you're going to fall into alchemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's literally where all of this stuff comes from.
Yeah,
all these religions, all these government laws, all these republics, all the democracies, all of this all comes out of ancient alchemy. You know what I'm saying? Out of ancient India, out of ancient Africa, and out of ancient China, right? I mean, these are the oldest places, oldest civilizations on Earth. All the letters, numbers, writing systems, like philosophy, all that was figured out long time before there was ever a Europe, right? Long before there was ever a Rome. Long before that. All of these nations had that stuff. They had these ideas that we're talking about and
like
expressing.
knew it.
Yeah.
The stuff that people were just now,
their children knew. Like, like this
it was
like,
common knowledge. It was like everybody knew it.
Yeah. Like how all y'all could name all the characters in Mario Brothers, like they could name the whole Anduad. Like they knew all of it. The children did. You know what I mean? Could sing that thing like anything they see on, on any of these music channels. Like it's like, and it's that kind of understanding and intaking of the information that makes it part of you. You know what I mean? And that's that when you take the information in to that depth and that extreme, like it makes it so it's inevitable that you're going to either go into alchemy or you're going to go into mysticism. You're going to venture off into one of these areas because that's where language goes back to. It goes back to these symbols. It goes back to these sigils and, the cuneiform.
That's what they are.
Yeah. It goes back to the Meduneter and the cuneiform and, the ancient Chinese that was, I forget what they call it, but there were symbols that were before the kind of that Japanese people use and the writing, the kanji before all of that. You're going to find that stuff, and all of that stuff is rooted in alchemy. It's magic. You know what I mean? It's
everything
real
is
magic.
Everything is
magic. Everything is magic.
And this is my favorite subject. Everything is magic. Everything is magic.
Every word, every language,
everything is magic.
And that's the one of the things I find so enthralling about word magic is the fact that every single language, once you start to actually understand how language functions, learning foreign languages becomes very easy. Okay, because of not even just because of studying words in these languages, but because you understand what the syllables and the different letter pairings in the words mean. You know what I mean? Like Taurus, that's Aleph Tav. You know what I mean? That was ancient, and then when about 3,000 or so years ago, when Judaism was really starting to hit its stride, that's when Judaic writing started, really popping up, and Aleph Tav was one of those things. But that was taken from ancient Kemet, and the Tav is Torah. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And it just changes forms as new societies pop up. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. You see that when you look through language. Like I'm sure people have noticed before how Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, French, and English, and they all share similar words. The Romance languages, right? Like that's literally how all language functions. It's just so many more languages than people realize because a lot of them have been lost. Some of them just don't speak anymore. They're dead languages. Like I didn't realize that most people didn't speak Latin when I got out of high school because when you're in high school, they tell you learn Latin because it's just like the prefixes and medical stuff and da-da-da-da. So you're like, that could be kind of useful. So then you learn it and then you get out and no one speaks Latin or Greek. But I'm glad I did though, because being able to see these words and understand them in ways that most people don't. You can,
And the Latin, that aspect on its own, you learn so much too. Especially looking at scientific words. The word says exactly what it is.
It says exactly what it is.
But this applies to pretty much everything. But people don't understand that. People don't get that.
The concept of one of my favorite ones that I figured out, right? Or I like to point out is concentration. Right? When you think about the word concentration, okay, it means to focus on something. You see what I mean? But what is the symbol for focusing on something? A target, right? That zero. That's what concentration is. It's just circles within circles.
Like
concentric. I mean? Con with centric, the center. You know what I mean? That's all it is. They're all you're pulling all of this to be with the center. You know what I mean? That's that thing. That's what I love about words, like how they operate like that. Even though people don't realize that's what they do. You know what I mean? If you break every word down into its component structures, you can do
it multiple ways.
There's not just one way to do it.
It could be one word and it still makes sense in different ways.
I did it with character, right? Because you have character, it can be char, actor, it can be ka, ra, actor, it can be ka, reactor, and they all mean the same thing.
Exactly.
It's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
It's all a burning up or a brightening, a using of your soul as a power to be something else, to create something.
My favorite one that you brought up was information.
Oh yeah.
Right? information. Any word that starts with IN, ANEN means, internal, right? And format, right? Ion,
Right.
you're formatting your inner light.
Yeah, you're literally
formatting your inner ion.
your inner light. You're shaping it.
Yeah, and that's how you view the world, is from the information that you take on.
Right. So
right? The way that you
allow your
form
light
inner
to be
light
formed
by the information you take in. That's why we share this information.
Right. So that you can inform yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is what is meant by the master builder.
Yes.
The master builder is a master in forms and shaping and building. You know what I mean? And that's again, that's what a mason is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So many people keep asking me, "Am I a mason, man?" I know I'm not a mason. No, I'm not. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the Masons. They tried to come at me at the beginning of that journey. Nah, bro, I'm good.
Yeah, no, like I've been all up in y'all temples and everything because I got family that's in there and I've been invited for different functions. But yeah, no, I'm not. No affiliation with them at all.
But yeah, it's crazy because people don't get that or understand that, and just because nobody's ever taught them.
Right. It's not.
It's not like. They say ignorance is not an excuse, but there's nobody teaching people this stuff. And this is why we share this information, because, you're not going to learn this in school.
Right.
You're not going to learn this in church. Right. You're not going to learn this
because those
temples.
The whole point of those organizations is also to inform you.
Yeah, to inform you.
It's also
so
to
you
shape
only
the
get
way
the information
you feel
there.
Exactly. So they're only going to give you the information that's going to turn you into what they want you to be.
And keep you in formation.
Right. Keep your ass in formation. Man, come on. Like, that's what it is. Those places are not meant to liberate you.
They're meant to do more words.
Man. Do more words? Oh, man. Let me think.
Oh, I'm trying to even think now. I got a frame. Okay, my favorite thing, too, is looking at the legal system. Legalese is a thing because it's word magic. It's word magic because they know that they don't teach normal people legalese, and that's why they use legalese. Because if you don't understand the magic of the words that they use, then you don't understand what's going on. This is why you go to court. In a court, it's a game. There's a judge judging the game in the court, and somebody is defending this game.
We have 12 jurors who are supposed to be the stand-ins for, the astral witnesses.
And and even going down into, we're not even gonna get into the maritime stuff or whatever.
Oh, man,
you have to go into the
go past the thing.
Yeah. So it gets deep.
So here's one of my favorite ones, right? That I always try to pound into people's heads so they can understand, and that's incorporation. All right. Because it's one of those that the Latin is so blatant, like they almost didn't even change the word.
There's a lot of that.
Incorpore just means in a body. And again, that IN is referring to the light, the you that's inside the body, right? So corpore is the body, flesh, okay? So a corporation is a body of individuals, okay, whose flesh is being used to make this corporation a person. It's an entity.
Yeah, that's why they call it an entity.
Right. That's why a corporate fiction is a person. Legally. Has all the same rights that he or I does as an individual.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have incorporated that. You incorporated. You gave the in to the corporation. You know what I mean? You are the in of that corporation. You're the thing powering it. You know what I mean? The people who work there, the workers. You are the staff, the authority. The management is there to manage your mentality. That's
and then even with that, right? So understanding once again, this goes back to what we talked about before, how cities function. Understanding how jobs function. This is why when you go into their system of things, you go into a career field. You go into a field just like a slave. This is why when you go to a factory, what are they called? They're called plants. They are plantations. You are going to a plantation in your field as a slave to the economy. It's a literal thing. It's not even like...
and the trick of it is, they get you to equate your time with money.
Yeah.
Think about how crazy that is.
That's insane.
Right? They got you actually out here thinking that your physical effort, your emotional energy, your conscious attention, right? Your spiritual motivation, these infinite things are somehow equivalent to $1 bill that it in and of itself is worth nothing. It's not even backed by the resources of the country that make it, but somehow is worth all of your time and energy.
Yeah. Which is the most valuable thing you have. That's
That
why
is
everything is
some vile
vying
shit.
for it. Everything is out there for it.
Yeah, everything is
Everything's
vying for
trying
that
to get
attention.
you, yeah.
Oh man, they want your attention, they want your effort, they want your worry, your emotion, they want all of it, all of that, and they'll give you some dollars for it.
Somebody says, "What books could I read to inform myself?" As far as what we just talk about right now, I don't know. You might know.
It depends, yeah.
When it comes to words and the power of words, not exactly just word magic, always go to Florence Scovel Shinn. She has she wrote 4 books, and they're all about 100 years old. Her first one is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Check it out.
Yeah.
Really, really deep, cool. Her second one is called The Word Is Your Wand. So we're talking about words and understanding how powerful your words are. Because remember, you talk about the Word of God. What is the Word of God? Boop. You are God. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Right? So everything that comes out of your mouth is the Word of God. And understanding the words that you are speaking are generating karma.
And understand, I was going to say, it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, you're God, so you're good and all powerful. No, it means that you're God in the way that you are creator of your experience.
Yeah. In every sense. Every sense. You have a lot more power than what anybody will ever tell you or that anybody can tell you.
Right.
It's something you have to experience firsthand. It's like to say that only a Buddha could truly understand the laws of karma, and a lot of Buddhists still don't understand the laws of karma. But, even looking at abracadabra means what? I create as I speak. Everything that you are speaking, this is what you're creating and bringing into your existence. Every thought is literally screaming into the mental realm. Every feeling is screaming into the astral, creating the physical thing.
Ka, da, bra. Okay, I would be Amun, right? Bra, the Ab is Amun or Anubis. You know what I'm saying? The Ab, it means from the darkness, right? Ra is the light. Ka is your light, your spirit, right? Your positive and negative. Da is physical. That's that. In Kemetic speak, that the D, the D-I, the J, the duh sound has to do with things being solid or established, right? And Ra again is the Bra again is reference to something seen being made relevant. Yeah, so like even when you break that word down, it's still exactly what it means. Exactly what it means. It's exactly what it means. You know what I mean? I create the things I think are created before me.
Yeah. And this is what's crazy too. We can tie this all in too, because the mental image of the things that you are speaking and creating is what gives it a deeper imprint into your experience. The more that
that's what the universe is reading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean when I say like your words are mental first. They're first a depiction, an idea, a feeling of what you mean before you write them down. Once you write that down, that word is now a crystallization of that immaterial concept. You made that thought material just by writing it down on something, just by carving that sigil into something.
Oh, we got a thing. I heard it.
I was like, what was that?
Was it cheer? Like, we got Thank you, whoever said that.
Yeah, thank
you. But like I said, it's crazy. So understanding, the power of your mind, because the law of manifestation states that everything starts from the mental into the astral and then into the physical. The mental aspect, the spiritual aspect or whatever, that's the goal. That's what we're developing. That's what that's why mindfulness is a thing. And a lot of people don't really understand mindfulness, right? Because mindfulness does not mean that you're blank.
No.
Mindfulness means that your mind is immovable and you're fully aware of all of everything that's going on.
Like even when you talk about in meditation, what you're meditating to be still, but that stillness is supposed to come so that you can sense the other subtle forces and
Yeah.
work with those.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
yeah.
It's not stillness just for stillness' sake. Like, what good is just sitting in the room being
And
still?
a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah,
And this is why a lot of people don't get Buddhism.
Right, yeah.
All the higher understanding just confuse the beginner.
They think it's just sitting in the room going, home.
Yeah,
That's
not what it is.
Yeah, first off, people don't understand that there's more to the home.
Oh
okay?
no, I think
It's not just home.
I think my phone died.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, my phone died. Okay. Okay, we can finish this up.
Okay.
Too.
So yeah, it's not just being still, like, so you're just being still and nothing's happening and you're like bored or whatever. Like, no, you're being still so that these subtler forces, these higher spiritual forces, higher psychical forces, higher emotional forces, you can actually perceive them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what all of it is about.
That's what the whole goal
The whole
is.
system.
You know? If you spend years just sitting still and thinking nothing and doing nothing, you have done nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you've done.
Exactly.
Is nothing. You haven't gone anywhere. Like, so I guess it's better than going backwards or down, but you still didn't go anywhere.
There's benefits that come from it.
Yeah,
like
you can
get more
definitely
aware.
obtain some sort of clarity from it,
But that's not what it's for.
That's not the goal.
That's not at all. That's not the goal whatsoever. This
Standing
is
at the
one
bottom of the
biggest
stairs looking up is not the same as going up the stairs,
Yeah.
even though you're still at the stairs.
things.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, you still have to walk up the stairs.
Yeah, and this is why, when I was talking to the woman about she said that she grew up in the church and stuff, and they say, you gotta, the Holy Ghost gotta be, you gotta be one with it, in order to get it or whatever. Like, okay, I get it, because even in Buddhism, they do the morning service or whatever, and they literally invoke, that Buddha's light or whatever, and they allow that light to guide them throughout the day, and that's what everybody does in their own way. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that. So when they talk about, I felt the spirit, I did this, it's not just like, I feel better.
It's not just that at all. It's an entirely different sensory perception that most people's biology is not. Let's say your biology hasn't been updated enough for you to perceive these things, but you can update it. It's a thing you can do. Like, you have to take care, like an analogy I use all the time is like, back when that radios had antennas all the time, that radio, if they had a beat up antenna, it's not going to get a clear signal, and the music you hear is going to be crap.
Exactly.
You'll barely be able to make it out, right? But if you take care of that antenna, you know what I mean? You're going to get all the clear signals. You're going to get Spanish channels. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get all that. I got Spanish channels on the radio. I loved it. That's one of the reasons I can speak Spanish to this day, is because listening to the Spanish channels and watch Telemundo, because we ain't had no cable as a kid, whatever. But when your frequencies are able to be pulled in a nice, orderly fashion, even if fast or slow, you know what I mean? But they can come in clearly. Like, that's where you're going to have the best chance for that meditation to actually make a difference, you know what I mean? But if you're like, out here eating bad, doing bad, talking bad, you know what I mean? And then you want to go, I'm going to go sit down and have a meditation and some stillness because I need to feel better about myself. But, like, the things you encounter in that meditation are not going to be things that are pleasant. You're going to encounter all of these things that you need to work on, right? And I think that hinders a lot of people from going past that stillness, that and the not knowing that you go past the stillness. Some people know you can go past it, but they know what's on the other side of that stillness, and they're trying to confront it, and thusly they're basically doing it all for aesthetics. You know what I mean? So for Instagram or for Facebook, what have you. Like, oh, look, I meditate. Like, yeah, but in the off time, you slap your girl around or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so for those who are interested too, this is why I teach my course on mastering the elements and hermetic alchemy. One of the biggest aspects is getting to that point where, you go through the Akasha, you become sensitive to light, you can focus your mind on any level of creation and allow that light to teach you, guide you, you can tune into it, get all the lessons, tune into your higher light bodies and then all that good stuff. And that's the primary goal of meditation is, to reach that level. It's not to just sit there and just,
and I think another thing that does that a disservice is all the images and depictions you see of people meditating, right? Like, they'll show them in serene surroundings, which is like perfect, but the problem is they're usually pictures. They're not videos. So you don't get that this person is sitting, their body is sitting still, right? But all of the natural elements around them are moving. The wind's blowing, the water is moving, the clouds are moving, the sun is shining, right? Birds are chirping, animals are doing their thing. These are all tantamount to the different aspects of you that you should be getting in touch with in that moment. Right? Your body and all your material and your physical aspects are being still. They're being quieted. So that all of these other cosmic aspects of you can get through to you. And hey, pay attention. I gotta tell you this thing.
And it's beautiful to have that awareness. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna have to end it. So you got anything you want to share with the people?
Just come check me out. Spellcraft Spirit School on YouTube. I keep wanting to say station because I changed it from station, but yeah, Spellcraft Spirit School on YouTube. Come check me out. And like I said, make sure you get with us in the Discord. Welcome to ask us any questions or anything like that. I'm active in there, and I'm going to get